sabihin natin gagastos ka ng mas mataas. Pero kung susumahin mo overall, makakamenos ka talaga. Unang-una, hindi ka naman napagod. Pangalawa, mas mabilis yung trabaho.
Huwag mo nang ipagawa yan sa iba. Ikaw na lang sayang yung pera. Diba? Na yung ganun palang paniniwala, hindi yun karunungan ng Diyos. Ang tinuturo sa atin dito, idea ng kasulatan, paano mo matatanggal yung pera dun sa oras.
Sabihin, yung fool, yan yung matalino pero hindi ginagawa.
Oo.
May karunungan pero hindi ginagawa. Diba? Kumusta ulit mga brothers? Yan, kumusta kayo dyan?
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Magandang araw kahit na maulan. Umulan o umaraw, dapat palaging maganda. Yan, it's all about perception.
Sabi nga ng mga tao meron akong nabasa, tao lang nagbibigay ng pangit na panahon dahil sinasabi nila bad masama weather daw pagka umuulan.
Kaya nga iisipin mo mabuti paano naging masama yung
kaya nga
panahon.
Hindi naman masama ang panahon, yung pag-iisip ng tao, yun ang masama.
Yun, yung perception nila sa panahon, yun ang masama. Galing nga Kasi unang-una, iisipin mong mabuti, yung ulan napakahalaga din yan sa atin
Totoo yun.
Di ba?
Oo.
Kapag hindi naman umuulan, sabihin nila, ano ba yan, sobrang init. Pero hindi nila sinasabing masama ang panahon, sobrang init. Di ba? Pero ayaw nila.
Ayaw nila, El Nino nga tawag nila
Yun na nga Pero bakit yung ulan lang sinasabi? Discrimination ang lumalabas dito.
Oo, tama. Dinidiscriminate yung panahon.
Oo.
Hindi pwede i-discriminate yun kasi ginawa ng Diyos yun
Pang-balance yun.
Oo, pang-balance.
Pang-balance.
Hindi pwedeng walang ulan
Kaya kasalanan na naman to ng mga media. Sila lang naman kasi yung di ba? Gumagawa ng pag-uulat na masamang panahon
Oo.
Sa kanila nagmula yan bad weather.
Sila nag-label na mga ganyan.
Oo.
Tapos natutunan na lang natin na masama yun. Kaya pag umuulan ba yun, sama ng panahon?
Kaya ang iba dinadaan na lang sa biro Sabi may bagyo, sabi na iba, hindi darating yan. Bakit? Masama yung panahon Hindi matutuloy.
Kaya
Ay, grabe. Ay, ano bang mga nyo? Baka pwede nyo i-comment dyan kung ano yung mga kung ano yung mga masasabi nyo tungkol talaga sa panahon.
Oo.
Kung nakakabuti ba to sa inyo o nakakasama. Kasi para sa amin, parang wala lang din. Kung ano yung namin, araw-araw namin, ganun pa rin, tuloy pa rin.
Oo.
Sabi ng mga customer, buwabag yun, di-deliver pa rin kayo Sabi, kasi yan parang kung saan nasa abundance, ka na, lahat blessing sa'yo.
Oo, ano man ang dumating, blessing talaga yan.
Blessing yun. May dumating sa'yo na hindi mo inaasahan na parang pangit yung pangyayari, di ba? Kung ang mindset mo is abundant, titignan mo yun sa sa maayos na pamamaraan.
Oo.
Titignan mo yun na nakakatulong yun sa paglago ng sarili mo. Nagkakamali ka, titignan mo yun, hindi yun nasa failure talaga.
Tama.
Sabi nga, marami na nagsasabi nito, yung failure, part ng success yan. Hindi yan kabaliktaran ng success.
Kasama yan. Kabuuan.
Kabuuan yan ng success, yung failure.
Kulang ang success mo pag wala ka nun.
Yun.
Kasi parang hagdanan yun Parang tawag nga doon prerequisite. Alam mo ba yung prerequisite?
Retracement lang alam ko Ano ba yung prerequisite?
Ibig sabihin ng prerequisite, yun yung mga kailangan mo bago mo marating yung isang bagay.
Yun, tama yun. Parang may napanood nga ako kanina lang. Kasi, based on momentum.
Tapos?
May in-eksperimento sila na yung bola, yung mas mabilis na kakarating sa dulo? Yung isang diretso o yung pag ganun-ganun?
Tapos?
Pinagsabay nilang binitawan. Mas unang nakarating yung bolang dumaan sa
yung up and down
na lane kesa dun sa diretso
lang
kasi yung natin, yung pagbagsak natin, yung pag-failure natin, dun tayo magkakaroon ng dun na magsisimula yung momentum natin.
Ang ganda nun no?
Galing nga
kasi parang bumibuelo ka lagi nun pagka gumagano ka, bumibuelo ka lagi. Kumbaga parang ang lagi nasa momentum hindi ka stuck sa isang lugar.
Tama yun.
Kasi yun nga, kung diretso ka lang, ang bagal mo nun, stuck ka nun
akala mo talaga stable ka lang, pero hindi.
Kaya,
galing nga nun.
Ganun din yung, kaya sa amin, yung nararanasan namin ngayon, Diba, saksi ka naman. Kasi may mga negosyo kami. Iniisip ko, ba't kaya nangyayari yun? Na, ayun, sinabi mo lang kanina, parang bumalik sa isip ko na, hindi aangat ang isang bagay kung hindi galing sa baba. Kailangan talaga may ganong pagdadaanan tayo May ganung laging sitwasyon na pag narating mo yung itaas, meron yung tuktok. Pagka nandun ka sa tuktok, wala ka naman na itataas eh.
Oo, kailangan mo kumuha ng buwelo.
O, bebuelo ko ulit, bababa ko ulit para mabilis na naman yung pag-akyat mo.
Yun, ganun.
Ganun yung nakita ko kaninang sinabi ni brother na may buwelo ka eh, pagka taas baba eh.
Nagkakaroon ka na ng momentum.
Oo.
Kasi unang-una ang literal na makakaisip ka ng mga panibagong sistema. Doon yung nagsisimula eh.
Oo.
May kita mo yung mga mali. Ano ba dapat yung mga dapat idagdag? Ngayon, kapag natutunan mo na yun, kapag naidagdag mo na yun sa sistema mo, yung mga natutunan mong bago, mas mabilis.
Kasi tingnan mo yung example ko na, di ba kami ni Eva, nag-umpisa kami sa maliit.
Oo.
Ang bilis namin lumaki. Ngayon, nung sobrang laki na, parang napapansin namin, parang
bumabagal.
Hindi lang bumabagal, may nawawala. Naku, parang ang laki na nga pero parang wala nang pagbabago, parang gano'n na, hindi na siya lumalago pa. Kahit anong pilit niya na dinadagdagan niya na yung puhunan niya, parang lalo pang nababawasan. Hindi gaya nung maliit na namin siya, na ma-manage na maayos. Kasi maliit, mas mabilis lumaki. Kaya nga naisip ko rin dun yung palaging nasa Biblia na sabi ng Panginoong Hesus na hindi mo kayang i-manage yung malaki kapag hindi mo kayang i-manage yung maliit. Kasi kailangan mo talagang pumunta uli sa maliit eh. Pupunta ka uli sa maliit.
Kasi hindi ka pa handa eh, para doon sa mas malaki.
Hindi, tingnan mo yung mga malalaking kumpanya. Kapag sobrang laki na ng kumpanya nila, anong ginagawa? Nagagawa ulit sila ng panibagong maliliit na kumpanya. Nag-uumpisa sila sa maliit. Kasi alam nila yung principle na pag sobrang laki niyan, may mga mangyayari at mangyayari dyan. Hindi sila nagtitiwala sa sobrang laki. Gagawa na naman sila ng panibago para i-hedge yung kung ano man yung mangyari dun sa malaking kumpanya na nila. Yung mga SM, ang laki na nila pero a-adapt pa rin sila na ibang mga negosyo. Kaya itong panonoorin natin tungkol sa wealth, yung tungkol sa pag-build ng yaman. Panood ko lang to kanina. Tungkol kay, siyempre si Myron pa rin ang natin, guest natin ngayong gabi.
Paborito yan.
Oo, kasi hindi may nakapag-podcast na nakaraan.
Oo.
Dito sa video na to, sasabihin niya yung principle para lumakad ng marunong sa negosyo, sa relasyon. Kailangan natin to lalo na sa mga nag-uumpisang entrepreneur. O kahit hindi ka entrepreneur, kahit empleyado ka, kapag meron kang ganitong klase ng awareness na sinasabi dito sa video na to, ang laki ng pwedeng ipagbago ng buhay mo.
So yan. Alala ko nga rin pala kanina kasi nagbasa ako ng mga, yung kinento ko nga sa'yo na destination. May nag-comment dun. Ang sabi ng comment doon, gumawa naman kayo ng sistema na, kasi ang sinimulan nun pababa eh. Pababa ang sinimulan nun eh. Packet naman daw. Ganong representation ng pataas. Yung isa, pantay na tapos yung isa naman, paangat naman daw ang isa. Naisip ko, walang sumasagot dun eh. Naisip ko, wala namang kung magsisimula ka ng kahit anong bagay, wala namang paangat agad eh. Di ba?
Walang ganun.
Walang ganun eh. Hindi siya representasyon ng buhay na paangat ka agad.
Oo, walang ganun.
Mga pilosopo, may nag-comment naman sa kanya na parang sabi niya doon, yung ganyan daw na mindset, tamad.
Namumuhay
umaasa na lang sa magic.
Tama.
Yung ganong sistema ng pag-iisip.
Parang gusto manalo lang sa loto. Parang ganun.
Agad.
Oo. Kapag ganun ang paniniwala natin, hindi.
Diba?
Kasi
galing.
Aasa ka na para magkaroon ka ng malaki. Aasa ka kung kailan darating yun.
Oo.
Ganun yun eh. Pero kung mag-uumpisa kung nasan ka at kung ano yung meron ka, ibig sabihin, maliit lang yun. Tayo mismo mga tao, baby nga tayo nag-umpisa eh. Sperm nga tayo nag-umpisa eh. Wala nag-umpisa na tao ka kaagad eh.
Totoo yan.
Diba? Kahit si Adam, nilikha lang sa alabok eh. Nag-umpisa pa rin siya sa maliit eh.
Kaya makikita mo talaga yung mga iba't ibang ng tao mindset.
Oo.
Makikita mo. Sige, simulan natin ito. Panoorin natin si Myron.
Have you ever wondered how can I become more wise? You know, the scripture says wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. With all that getting, get understanding. But where do you get that wisdom? Do you go down to like the Publix and say, I'd like 7 pounds of wisdom, please? How much is it per pound? I don't think so. But I'm going to share with you some concepts about how we're supposed to be wise from the book of Ephesians, in Ephesians chapter 5. Here's what it says in verse 8. It says, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness of truth, what is acceptable unto the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame to even speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he saith, Awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. And then it says, See that ye walk circumspectly. That word circumspectly means wisely. See that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And then it says, Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, and be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. So, it's really interesting. It says, make sure, in verse number 15, I think it was, it said, see that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Don't walk as a fool, but walk as a wise person. The scripture says, He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but the companion of fools shall be destroyed. And so, I think we have to first define wisdom, and I know I've defined it before in other videos, but I'm going to define it again today. But before I define what wisdom is, I have to define the prerequisites of wisdom. So, wisdom has some prerequisites. I'm going to go over here to my whiteboard, my blackboard. I'm going to give you some prerequisites to wisdom. And prerequisite number one is, in fact, I'm going to write that, prerequisites. I think that's how you spell it, which means these are pre-requirements. Prerequisite number one is ignorance. Congratulations, you were born with it, right? All of us were born with it. We were born ignorant. We didn't know anything. Now, what is ignorance? Ignorance is the absence of truth. Okay, so ignorance is the absence of truth. Now, if you don't know truth, then you're ignorant. Anything you don't know. When we were born, we didn't know our head from our foot. We didn't know our hands from like our shoulder. We didn't know anything, right? And so we were ignorant. But over time, we begin to learn things. I believe probably one day I was sitting there slobbering on myself as a baby, not as an adult. I was going like this. And my mom said, "That's your hand, baby. That's your hand." And I eventually learned that was my hand. But then I found out, guess what? I had another hand. And I found out they're not the same hands. I got a left hand and a right hand. I got a left foot and a right foot. I was like, wow. So not only do I have hands, I have different orientations of hands. Okay, cool. So we replace ignorance by gaining the second prerequisite, which is knowledge. Now, what is knowledge? Knowledge is the accumulation of truth. And we begin to accumulate the truth. And when we begin to accumulate the truth, then we have knowledge, so we know things. We know what our hands is, we know what our foot is, we know what our eyes are, we know what our ears are. We gain this knowledge. And a lot of people say knowledge is power. I don't believe that knowledge is power. I believe that knowledge is potential power, right? And so we have to understand, the more knowledge we have, the more potential for power we have, but we don't necessarily have more power just because we have more knowledge. I'm going to see if I can move this thing over here. I can't. Okay, so I'll do that after the next video. Okay, so now, the third prerequisite is understanding.
Zapier just integrated with OpenAI, and this is going to change the game for businesses and content creators.
Now, what is understanding? Understanding is the assimilation of truth. See, knowledge is when I know what it is. Understanding is when I know what it means. So, this is one of the things I say about the Bible. A lot of times, people have biblical knowledge, but they don't have biblical understanding. They know what the Bible says, but they don't know what it's saying. They know the Logos, but they don't know the Rhema. Right? And the Rhema is what it means. It's what it's saying. The Logos is what it says. So the scripture says we're supposed to walk wisely, not as fools. Okay, well, what is wisdom? Wisdom is the last, it's not a prerequisite. Now we get to wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the application of truth. It's only wise when I actually do it. So the application of truth is wisdom. If I don't apply the truth, now,
Ayun yung sinasabi natin kanina, no? Na sinasabi ko sa'yo kanina, yung prerequisite. Ibig sabihin, ang tinutukoy dyan ni Myron na ipinaliliwanag niya, bago ka dumating dun sa wisdom, bago mo yan maabot, kailangan meron ka pagdaanan. Kasi hindi ka na magiging marunong kung hindi ka naging ignorante. Hindi ka magiging marunong kung hindi ka nakaalam. Tapos hindi ka rin magiging marunong kung hindi ka nakaunawa. Ganyan din sa buhay natin. Na yung kagaya kanina sabi mo, na ang success, kasama niya talaga lagi dyan ang failure. Ganon din yung pag-acquire ng wisdom, ng karunungan. Diyan, ang linaw nung pinaliwanag niya, ang linaw na, hindi lang basta na alam mo yung word na karunungan. Alam mo yung, pag sinabing marunong, ang pag-aalam natin sa marunong sa eskwela, marunong gumawa ng ganito, di ba?
Iba-iba pa palang level.
Merong level yung karunungan. Kasi nga, kung maintindihan mo lalo yan, yung wisdom na sinasabi sa modern day na salita, ang tawag yan mastery. Ibig sabihin ng mastery, ginagawa mo yung isang bagay na hindi mo na kailangang pag-isipan.
Tama.
Parang habit, yun ang ibig sabihin ng mastery. Habit mo na. Hindi mo na kailangang pag-isipan ng matindi para gawin yung ganito. Unang-una, halimbawa na lang sa pagdadrive, di ba? Bago tayo maging master sa pagdadrive, dumaan tayo dyan sa pag-ignorante.
Yun.
Hanggang sa natuto tayo kung paano magkambyo, paano. Tapos naintindihan natin kung paano gumagana yung clutch.
Yun,
diba?
Importante yun.
Hanggang sa maging master ka dun sa pagdadrive. Kaya, sige.
Sabihin, yung wisdom pala, parang ano na yan. Yan na yung nasa subconscious natin.
Oo, subconsciously na yan. Ikaw na yun mismo.
Oo.
Ikaw na, kaya nga, yung sa Biblia, di ba, sabi, ang karunungan sumisigaw sa bayan. Kasi yung karunungan na yun, nagkakatawang tao yun eh. Nagiging tao yung karunungan na yun. Kapag ka dumaan sa mga proseso na yan. Tapos, ito pa yung naintindihan ko dyan na para maging marunong ka sa isang bagay, kailangan maging ignorante ka din dun sa bagay na yun. Tingnan mo yung mga tao na ang katwiran nila kapag ka tinuruan sila acne. Alam mo yan, yung acne?
Alam ko na yan.
Di ba? Alam ko na yan. Pero titignan mo yung resulta nila, wala, zero. Walang resulta, pero alam nila. Di ba? Bakit? Hindi na sila natutong maging ignorante. Kasi dun sa pagiging ignorante, nandun yung curiosity. Pagka ikaw curious ka, ibig sabihin, hindi mo alam yung isang bagay, na kahit alam mo na noon, napakinggan mo na yun noon, napanood na naman na.
Hanggang knowledge na lang.
Oo.
Kaya tama yung sabi ni Myron hindi siya naniniwala na knowledge is power.
Tama. Tiyan mo yung may kakilala nga tayo, di ba? Ang daming knowledge. Pero walang power. Puro knowledge eh.
Shout out sa'yo. Nasa Japan yun eh.
Kaya makapanood niya. Teka lang. Kaya, tapos dito, may isa pang sasabihin si Myron. Pagkatapos ng wisdom, meron pa dyan. Kaya ituloy natin.
Maganda to
So, what comes after wisdom? Well, the thing that comes after wisdom is foolishness. What is foolishness?
Ooh.
Foolishness is the abandonment.
Yun.
Abandonment of truth. So we walk away from the truth. Okay? So that's
Galing yan ha. Ang laki ng ano niya. Biglang nag-ano sa isip ko na, hindi talaga lahat pataas eh. Diba?
Yan ang pinag-uusapan natin.
Hindi talaga lahat pataas.
Na parang taas-baba talaga yan. Kasi, kung hindi ka ba, yung foolishness na yan, babalik ulit sa ignorance yan eh.
Yun.
Magiging ignorante ka ulit eh. Diba? Tapos pag ano, paikot-ikot yan.
Paikot-ikot. Galing.
Ganda niya, ang ganda niya.
Ganda ng pagkaka-enumerate niya.
Foolishness. So a person who walks away from the truth, you've learned the truth, you understood the truth, you applied the truth for a while, and then you walked away from it. Why? Because maybe your flesh caused you to walk away from it. Maybe your desire to experience something, to feel something made you walk away from it. Maybe it was your desire to know something, or your desire to be somebody. What is that? Your worldly ambitions, your need for other people.
Sa madaling salita, growth rin talaga.
Oo.
Growth pa rin. Kasama sa growth. Yung foolishness. Parang ano yan eh. Ibang ano na.
Kasi kung meron kang mga
transition.
kung meron kang mga natutunan nga sa sanglibutan na hindi maganda, para magawa mo yun, kailangan maging mangmang dun sa bagay na hindi maganda.
Oo.
Para matuto ka, para maging marunong ka dun sa mga bagay na gusto mong i-adapt na magaganda, na yun ang makakatulong sa'yo. Kasi tayo, naturuan tayo ng society, ng sanglibutan, ng mga bagay na masasama. Nakaprogram sa atin yun. Kaya nga doon tayo naging marunong eh.
Oo, ibig mong sabihin dito, yung foolishness, mas magandang gamitin natin yung kamangmangan natin dun sa mga bagay na hindi naman.
Oo, yun ang sabi ng Diyos eh.
Diba? Maging mangmang kayo.
Kaya nga sabi ng Diyos, yung kamangmangan sa Diyos eh, ay yung kamangmangan ng tao, karunungan naman sa Kanya.
Totoo. Ganun, galing.
People to think something about you, right? So that's foolishness, so you walked away. So the Bible says we're supposed to walk circumspectly. So the wisdom of your walk is doing the things, applying the knowledge that you have. If you don't apply the knowledge that you have, you're not wise. You might be smart, but everybody who's smart is not wise. There are a lot of people who are smart fools. I've met a lot of smart fools. Can I get a witness? Where are my people? Okay? So we understand that just because
Kaya
I
dyan
know
naisip ko
something...
yung sinasabi nilang work hard tsaka work smart. Hindi pala dapat smart yung gamitin mong salita,
Work wise.
Wisdom. Oo, with wisdom. Work wise.
Work wise.
That does not make them wise. So the Bible says we're supposed to walk wisely. What does that mean? That means the things that we know to do, we should do. And if I don't do the things I know to do, I'm walking like a fool. The Bible says don't walk like a fool, but walk like a wise person. So make sure you're taking steps in wisdom. Now,
sabihin, yung fool, yan yung matalino pero hindi ginagawa.
Oo.
May karunungan pero hindi ginagawa, di ba? Hindi sinabing fool na dahil bobo.
Oo.
Dahil di ba?
May wisdom na nga siya eh.
Oo, may wisdom na siya.
Ginagawa niya na nun eh.
Oo, tama.
Kaya
diba? Linaw, grabe.
Ano yan, kumbaga yung foolishness kasi, intentional ka na dyan.
Oo, na hindi mo nagagawin.
Na hindi mo gagawin.
Tama.
Yung ignorance kasi, wala kang malay.
Kaya hindi mo ginagawa.
Kaya hindi mo nagagawa o hindi mo ginagawa kasi wala ka talagang malay doon, wala kang alam, hindi ka naturuan.
Totoo yan.
Pero yung mangmang, alam niya na, ginagawa niya na nga eh.
Oo.
Pero inabandon na niya. Kaya ang ganda ng kung maiintindihan mo talaga yung word by word,
maiintindihan mo yung Biblia, yung kagustuhan ng Diyos.
Oo, yung sabi dyan ni Myron, hindi mo lang dapat maintindihan yung salita. Ano yung sinasabi ng salita na yun?
Oo.
Nandun yung understanding eh.
Galing,
what do we do when we start walking in wisdom? When we start walking in wisdom, one of the things we learn to do is we learn to realize that we're expiring. Like we become more aware of the fact that we are expiring. What did the psalmist say? He said, Lord, teach us to number our days. Why? That we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. What does it say in Ecclesiastes? It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there's no work, nor device, nor service in the grave whither thou goest. You're not going to have time to learn after you die dead. It's too late to learn. When you're gone, it's too late to earn. When you're gone, it's too late to love. It's too late to do anything. So what we have to do is we have to walk in the wisdom of an awareness that we are expiring and stop acting as if we think we're going to live to be 875 years old. We have to go through life with a sense of urgency. If I'm going to be about something, I need to be about it now. So that's the first thing we find out. It says that we need to walk according to wisdom. Let me ask you a question. What is the wisdom of your walk? Are you aware of the fact that you're dying? And are you making every day count because you're aware that every day you live is one less day you have to live? Or are you acting as if, it's just laissez-faire, I'm just going to go through life and just kind of do what I feel, I'm just going to chill, out, I'm just going to hang out, I'm just going to waste time, I'm just chilling, I'm just wasting some time. Are you insane? We have to have a level of intensity about the number of days we have left. If I'm going to live to be 140, I only have like 30, what I got? 140, I only have like 80, like 78 years left, right? I got to be about the business. What if I don't live to be 140? Then I have less, right? So I got to act like I know this deal ain't going to last forever. And because of that, there's a country song, country music country songwriters are so funny. They love double entendres, right? And there's a song called "Live Like You're Dying." Like, what would you do if you knew you were dying? It's like, I'd something about go 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, right? Like, go bull riding, go skydiving, go, and you do all of these things that we keep putting off. Why? Because when we think about it, which most people try not to do, when we think about it, we realize that the quality of our life is not measured by the number of years of experience we have doing a thing, but by the number of experiences we put in our years. And see, a person can live to be 70, 80, or 90 years old and have 10 years worth of experiences in those 70, 80, 90 years because they just keep doing the same things over and over. Or somebody can live to be 35 years old and put 100 years of experiences in those because they don't just keep doing the same things over and over and over and over and over. It's really interesting. Like, people say, well, Myron, this is all I know how to do. I've got 40 years of experience driving this forklift. But I got bad news for you. You don't. Because it don't take that long to learn how to drive one. You got 2 weeks of experience repeated over a 40-year time period, and that's how most people live their lives. They learn a skill, they add nothing to the skill, and they just do that whole thing, that same thing over and over and over again, keep living Groundhog Day every day for the rest of their lives.
Hindi
So we
na
need to
natututo ng ibang
apply
ano.
some wisdom to our walk.
Hindi na natututo ng ibang
Okay, so
karunungan.
we need to walk
Sa
according to
karunungan.
wisdom. Cool. That's not all. We need to apply
Yan mga dyan.
wisdom.
Kasi may narinig ako niyan nung nasa Cavite tayo, di ba? Sabi nila 15 years na silang nagtatanim. Sa isip-isip ko, 15 years. Ang tagal na nitong nagtatanim. Pero yung level o yung estado ng kabuhayan nila, parang sobrang hirap pa rin sila. Ibig sabihin, parang hindi sila nag-upgrade. Ito yung sinasabi ni Myron na hindi dahil yan yung experience mo.
Diyan ka na lang.
Oo. Kailangan magdagdag ka talaga ng skills. Yun, isa pa nga, ang skills, ang tawag dun sa skills, dito sa modern o sa makalumang lengguwahe, wisdom pa rin yun, yung skills. Skills, mastery, wisdom yun. Kaya, yung sinasabi niya dyan na, yung experience mo, hindi yun yung batayan ng pagiging marunong mo. Na dahil ginawa mo yun nung 30 years, 40 years, dahil doon ka magaling, doon ka na mag-i-stick. Kasi kung hindi naman yun ang nagbabago ng buhay mo, hindi naman yun ang nag-a-upgrade ng pamumuhay mo, ba't ka mag-i-stick doon sa skills na yun?
Tama.
Ibig sabihin, hindi nag-i-stack yung skill mo, hindi dumalago.
Siyempre, kapag nasa isip mo na, kung meron ka talagang, level of self-awareness talaga na mataas, iisipin mo na agad, teka, kailangan ko natang magdagdag ng panibagong skill. Kasi, 15 years na ako dito, pero yung buhay ko ganun pa rin eh. Dapat
tama
tanongin mo
yun.
sa sarili mo. 15 years na nga ako eh. Diba? Ganun yun eh. Dapat tanongin nila eh, teka, hindi mo ipagyayabang na 15 years ka na.
Oo, 15 years na ako dito empleyado. Wala pa tong ganitong building, nandito na ako.
Una na pa ako dito sa mga manager dito eh.
Pero hindi mo tinatanong ikaw mismo, yung sarili mo, ano bang nangyari sa 15 years na yun?
Totoo yan.
Diba? Kasi ako, ganun na yung nagiging tanong ko ngayon sa sarili ko. Ano ba ako nung nakaraang taon?
Totoo.
Tapos, titingnan mo yun, ano ba yung mga nagawa ko, ano ba yung... Kasi, bago pa tong ni Myron, di ba, sinabi niya nga dyan na, kapag ka marunong ka, mag-iisip ka ng bagay, ang isip mo, nag-e-expire ka.
Oo.
Ibig sabihin, kasi nga, hindi mo alam kung ano mangyayari bukas eh.
Oo.
Hindi ka naman pabata no? Patanda ka. Kung hindi ka mag-iisip ng gano'n na ikaw tumatanda, na yung expiration mo lumalapit, hindi ka magkakaroon ng sense ng urgency. Para ka lang dahon na tinatangay ng hangin. Na wala kang intensyon sa buhay mo na gawing baguhin yung buhay mo. Okay na lang sa'yo na gabi-gabi manood ka ng mga walang kwentang panoorin. Libangin yung mata mo at saka yung isip mo.
Kaya mahirap din yung makikinig sa mga short Instagrams, mga kwan. Kasi kalimitan ang sinasabi ng mga influencer doon, tawag nito, huwag mo masyado madaliin. Sabi nila. Ang sabi pa nila doon, kalimutan ko yung term na sinasabi nila eh. Ibang-iba kasi yung sinasabi nito ni Myron na kailangan maging intentional ka sa buhay.
Oo, kailangan may intensity yung pag-atake mo. Kasi
may target ka.
Oo, ganun umatake yung marurunong na tao. Tingnan mo yung mayayaman. Pag-aralan mo na lang sila yung mga talagang nagsasaksit.
Oo.
nagsasucceed sa kahit saan, sa negosyo, sa relasyon, sa buhay. Intentional sila. Ano man yung nangyayari ngayon, yung sa present nila, lagi sila doon nakapokus.
Tsaka ginagawan agad ng solusyon.
Oo.
Hindi kagaya ng, lilipas din to.
O kaya naman, bukas na lang.
Bukas na lang.
Di mo nga alam ang nangyayari bukas.
Baka okay na bukas.
Oo. Diba? Kaya kapag marunong ka, hindi mo may isip yun na bukas na lang.
Oo.
Sunod na araw na lang. Diba? Kasi hindi mo alam mangyayari bukas. Although tayo, sa amin, naniniwala kami sa buhay na wala hanggan. Pero, dahil sabi ng Diyos na hindi mo alam ang mangyayari bukas, dapat maging intentional ka ngayon. Oo.
Huwag mong ipagmalaki.
Oo, wag mong ipaghambog ang mangyayari bukas. Kasi ngayon, mamaya nga, hindi mo rin alam ang mangyayari, di ba? Lalo na yung bukas. Kaya dapat talaga intentional tayo sa ginagawa natin.
Nalala ko
sa ngayon.
Sa Cavite. Ayan, akala nila okay na eh. Nalusaw daw yung mga pananim dun eh.
Oo.
Grabe.
Pero yun, isipin mo, 15 years na yun naggaganon.
Bakit hindi nila nagawa ng solusyon?
Oo.
Na kapag may ganyan, dapat alam na nila.
Tama.
Kung ano yung gagawin nila.
Oo. Siyempre, sa 15 years na yun, hindi ka na natuto sa mga ganong klase ng kalamidad o kaya ng mangyayari, di ba? Dapat lagi kang inoobserbahan mo dapat yun eh. Pag nangyaring ganito, anong solusyon?
Nagkaroon naman na sila ng wisdom eh. Ang problema, na-stuck na sila sa foolishness. After ng wisdom, yun na nga. Iba yun ang kasunod eh. Yung pagiging mangmang nila sa alam naman nila.
Kaya lang, ayaw na nilang
gawin. Kasi siguro dahil nga umaasa sila na susunod na pan, magiging okay din. Eh kung mamatay nga sila gaya sinasabi ni Myron.
Oo.
Wala na.
Wisdom to our work. How do I apply wisdom to my work? Because that's what it says next. This one's going to shock you. It said in verse 15, he said, See that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Now, a lot of people, this is another one of those verses, a lot of people know what it says. Almost nobody knows what it's saying. The scripture is telling me to work according to wisdom. What does that mean? It means when I work according to wisdom, I work to redeem the time. Redeem my time. Now, what does that mean? What does the word redeem mean? That's what I'm going to go into right now. So redeem means, the first definition that we find when we look it up in the Strong's Concordance, redeem means to buy back or buy up. So I'm supposed to buy back my time or buy up my time. You tracking? Y'all tracking? Okay, so I'm buying it back. I'm buying it up. Then the second definition is rescue from loss. So I'm supposed to buy back my time, rescue it from loss, and the last one is improve opportunity. So I'm supposed to buy back my time, rescue it from loss, and improve opportunity. You say, Myron, what does that have to do with applying wisdom to my work? Here's what it has to do with it. The scripture says I should buy back my time. Let me ask you a question. When you buy coffee, what do you use to buy it with? Coffee. Money. When you buy clothes, what do you use to buy that with? Money. When you buy a car, what do you buy that with? Money. So when you buy your time, what are you going to use to buy time? Money. How do you buy time with money? You buy time with money by paying someone else to do something that saves you time. So, I have a landscape company that comes and cuts my grass every week. If I were to cut my grass every week, it would probably take me at least an hour and a half of my time. When I pay somebody else to do it, I bought that hour back.
Yun.
Oh, I don't even think y'all understand the significance of what I'm telling you right now. So now, I bought that hour back, and I can use that hour to invest into my relationship with my wife, invest that into a relationship with my children, invest that into a relationship with my granddaughter, invest that into my health by working out. I can do something else with that time. Why? Because I bought that time back. Okay, so I'm buying back my time. Guess what? I have a pool. But I don't clean my pool. Why? I pay pay somebody to clean my pool. They come by and clean it every Tuesday. So I don't know how long it take me to clean the pool. It might take me another hour and a half. So I pay somebody to clean my pool, and guess what? I bought back some more hours of my time. But I'm married. It's not cool for me to just buy back my time. I need to not just buy back my time. I need to buy back some of my wife's time. Right? So what do? I hired a housekeeper. She comes by, she cleans the house 3 days a week, she does the laundry, she irons the clothes, she folds the clothes, she does the vacuuming, she mops the floor, she cleans the bathrooms. And so I bought back my wife's time. Why? Because when I come home from work, I don't want to watch my wife clean the house. I want us to be able to sit down and invest that time into our relationship. And so now I bought back some of her time and I bought back some of my time. Like, when I come here, like, there's stuff that gets done here that I don't do. There's stuff here I don't know how to do. So what do? I make my time more valuable by spending my money on time, buying back my time. It's really interesting. You know how if you invest your money over time, you become wealthy? That's because there's something called the time value of money. And if you invest money at a certain rate of return over a long enough time period, that money becomes more because of the time value of money. The current value of money is not the only value the money has. There's such a thing as a financial calculator, and one of the things there's a button on the financial calculator that's FV. What's FV stand for? Future value. So you can calculate the future value of money. So here's what we understand. Based on compound interest or simple interest or investing, here's what we understand. Time makes money more valuable. I know I said that kind of fast. I'm going to say it again. Time, because of investing, time makes money more valuable. Watch this. Because of delegation, money makes time more valuable. We all have cars. Cars are nice, but they buy back some time, right? So if having a car gets you from point A to point B a lot faster than your tennis shoes, right? So we bought back some time when we bought a car, right? We bought back some time by having running water in our house. We don't have to go out to the pond behind our house and get buckets of water to wash our clothes. So we bought back time through technology and through the leverage of technology. But we also buy back our time not just through automation, but also through delegation. Now, here's what's really cool. If there's such a thing as the time value of money, there's such a thing as the money value of time. What is the money value of time? Every hour of my life that I buy back by paying somebody else to do something I'm either not good at, don't like to do, don't want to do, or don't know how to do, is an hour of my life I'm buying back. In fact, I might pay somebody to do something for an hour that it takes them an hour, but it saves me 3 because I'm not good at it.
Yun.
Are y'all tracking? And see, here's part of the problem. Here's one of the reasons. The Bible's not just telling us to be wise in our walk, but it's telling us to be wise in our work. One of the ways that we can be wise in our work is to work in a way that buys back our time. The scripture says we should use our money to get time back. We do the exact.
Mga kakilala nga ako niya na sabi, pag yun mo na sa mga customer namin, nakikita ko. Pagawa mo na lang kasi sa carpenter yan. Ginagawa siya ng mga cabinet. Sabi niya, aksaya pa ng pera daw. Kaya lang, sumagot yung asawa niya. Sabi niya, aksaya ng pera, hindi mo naman alam gawin yan. Ang laki ng nagagastos natin. Tapos, ang tagal mo pa dyan gawin. Hindi ka na matapos-tapos yan, sa ligo mo na ginagawa yan. Sabi ng asawa niya sa kanya. Sabi ko, kuya, bakit kasi hindi mo pa pinagawa? Nagagalit na pala yung asawa niya Ngayon, naapektuhan pa lalo yung relasyon niya nga sa asawa niya. Wala na siyang, parang di ba? Kakatipid mo nga. So, hindi siya magandang investment, no? Sabihin natin, gagastos ka ng mas mataas. Pero kung susumahin mo overall, makakamenos ka talaga. Unang-una, hindi ka naman napagod. Pangalawa, mas mabilis yung trabaho. Yun yung time. Kaya, kasi, yung sinabi mo dati na, yung sinasabi ni Myra na, money equals time. Hindi totoo no? Grabe. Yan yung isang maganda example nun eh. Na yung oras laging mas mahal yan. Hindi mo nga matapatan ng ano eh.
Oo, priceless yan.
Priceless yung oras eh. Ngayon, nabibili mo lang yan sa pinakamababang presyo kapag umupa ka ng ibang tao na gagawa ng trabaho mo.
Oo.
The opposite, we use our time to get money and we wonder why we can't get ahead. I'm doing it backwards. Are y'all tracking? So we go out and we sell our time to the highest bidder, $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour, and we sell our time to the highest bidder. We wonder why we can't get ahead. We can't get ahead because we're not walking according to the wisdom of our work by buying back our time. Now, here's what's really interesting. If I pay you to do something for me that I don't want to do, can't do, don't know how to do, don't have time to do, whatever the reason, I'm not going to do. If I pay you to do that for me, then everybody wins. Why? You get something you want, you get the money, I get something I want, I get the time back.
Yun.
The reason we do the trade is because both of us are getting more than we paid for.
Yun.
What does
Pareha,
that mean?
win-win situation.
You
Diba?
want the money more than you want the time. I want the time more than I want the money. So everybody gets what they want. Here's the problem. Here's where you get stuck.
Hey there, my friend. I just want to share with you one of the best business books you'll ever have the opportunity to read. It's called Boss Moves. Boss does not mean you bossing
Yung
me around,
pera.
bossing you around. It's an acronym that stands for Business Optimization Success Secrets. And this is Business Optimization Success Secrets from $1 Million Roundtable. I have one client who read this book and in 2 months made $800,000 from what he learned. I want to give you the opportunity to get this book by clicking the link below or just go to bossmovesbook.com and get your copy today. And now, back to the video you were watching.
When you love the money more than you love the people, that's where you get stuck. What does that mean? That means if you love the money so much that you don't want to pay anybody for anything, I just do it myself because I can save the money.
Yeah.
Yan, di ba? Yan ang sinasabi mo dyan eh.
Because you bought into the lie that money is a tool to be viewed and not a tool to be used.
Kasi, di ba tayo, unang-una ko tong naririnig dati kay Tid Nahuda eh.
Oo.
Sabi ni Tid Nahuda, wag na kayong kumuha ng mga makatulong kayo na mismo gumawa. Halimbawa, pag nasira yung sasakyan, dapat matuto kayo na mag-ayos ng sasakyan.
Oo.
Yun yung naipamana sa atin na paniniwala ni Tid Nahuda eh.
Oo.
Na wag mo nang ipagawa yan sa iba. Ikaw na lang sayang yung pera. Diba? Na yung ganun palang paniniwala, hindi yun karunungan ng Diyos. Ang gusto talaga ng Diyos, magkaroon tayo ng isang paniniwala na pahalagahan natin yung oras. Kasi yung oras, ang tawag nga doon infinite yun eh. Pero dahil nasa physical tayong mundo, nagiging limited yun. Mas mahalaga yun sa kahit anong commodity.
Oo.
Kaya kung hindi mo maintindihan yung ganitong konsepto na dapat bumili ka ng oras para magkaroon ka ng mas maraming oras, hindi ka makakaabante, hindi ka magiging advance. Ang isip mo, per hour ang kitaan mo.
Yun na nga eh.
Per oras, dapat pag ganitong oras, kikita ko ng $5 o kaya naman sa isang araw, kikita ko ng 500 pesos. Kasi pag ganun ang ginagawa mo, yung isang araw mo, yung oras na yun na
Limitahan mo na.
limitado ka lang sa 500. Yung mindset mo, 500 per day lang. Di ba? Pero kung mag-iisip ka na ang oras dapat halagahan mo ng mas mataas na value, hindi lang 500 ang kikitain mo sa isang araw eh. Kasi may stretch ng husto yung mindset mo eh, na hindi lang yun ang pwede kong kitain sa isang araw. Pwedeng 500,000, 5 million.
Yun.
Kung may stretch ng gano'n ang isip mo, kasi ang pera wala rin naman siyang limitasyon eh. Kaya lang, ang tinuturo sa atin dito ng idea ng kasulatan, paano mo matatanggal yung pera dun sa oras? Paano mo matatanggal sa isip mo na dapat nakakonekta yung kikitain mo sa oras na tatrabahuhin mo? Kasi kapag hindi mo yun naunawaan, kapag hindi mo yun natutunan, yung karunungan na nasa iyo, limitado. Parang 500 per day lang. Parang ganun lang yung karunungan mo. Kaya ito, napakaganda nito kung maunawaan natin yung kay Myron na kapag may pera ka, dapat mo i-delegate yung pera mo eh. Kasi kung mag-aaksaya ka ng oras kaysa isi-save mo yung pera na yon, na kagaya nga nasabi mo kanina, imbis na yung alam mong trabahuhin, yun ang trabahuhin mo para mas kumita ka doon.
Oo.
Kaysa yung trabaho hindi mo alam, yun ang tatrabahuhin mo para lang mag-save ka ng pera, lalo kang nagagastusan pa nun eh.
Yun.
Mas malaking gastos yung nagagawa mo. Kasi gagawin mo, hindi mo naman alam para lang i-save mo yung pera. Ang nangyayari tuloy, nadadamage pa lalo yung ginagawa mo. Kasi para ka lang nag-experiment ka lang. Lalo lumalaki yung gastos. Bukod doon, yung oras mo pa.
Oo.
Nakakain.
May paraan naman eh. Kung gusto mong matuto yung ginagawa mo eh. May paraan eh. Hindi pwedeng walang paraan eh. Umupa ka ng gagawa, tapos habang gumagawa yun, manood ka.
Kausapin mo, sige, ganito, tulungan mo siya para makita mo kung anong ginagawa niya. Doon, matututo ka.
Yun.
Kasi unang-una, ignorante nga. Pag hindi mo alam isang bagay,
Yun.
ignorante ka na, babalik ka na naman eh.
Ignorante ka talaga.
Oo, para lalo kang matuto, kailangan mas maging ignorante ka. Pero, para matutunan mo isang bagay ng mabilis, kailangan mo ng may mentor ka.
May magtuturo sa'yo.
May magtuturo sa'yo. Kaya tama yun eh. Kaya nga yung sabi mo, tama yun eh. Babayaran mo isang tao para gawin isang bagay, tapos matututo ka kung paano niya gawin yun.
Oo.
Kailangan bayaran mo yung tao. Tama yun. Magbabayad ka.
Ang mahirap kasi noon, pag binayaran mo na, hindi ko na ano yan. Bed nang binayaran ko naman eh. Parang wala ka rin nadagdag na skill, di ba? Parang ano yan eh. Ang tawag dito, taking advantage.
Oo.
Diba?
Lalo na kung gusto matutunan yung bagay na yun.
Yun.
Kaya tama yung sabi ng advice ng iba na dapat may mentor ka talaga kung gusto mo matutunan yung isang bagay ng mabilis tsaka epektibo.
Kasi yung mentor, ano yan eh. Alam na niya, ituturo na yan sa'yo yung mga bagay na hindi mo na dapat gawin para hindi mo na pagdaanan.
Oo.
So, papabilis yun eh. Yung mentor eh.
Oo.
Pwede naman eh. Magsasucceed ka naman sa buhay ng walang mentor eh.
Kaya lang matagal.
Matagal.
Kasi ikaw mismo ang sasagasa ng lahat ng failure eh.
Dadaanan mo tayo. Masakit pa.
Kaya ang ganda nitong tinuturo ni Myron, no? Unang-una sa Biblia pa galing.
Yun, oo.
Kasi sigurado tayo na Diyos talagang merong kagustuhan niya. Na ganyan dapat tayo mag-isip. Mahalaga dapat sa atin ang oras. Kasi unang-una, hindi natin alam ang mangyayari bukas.
Yun, oo.
Accumulation of, like people say, accumulation of wealth. Wealth is not money. If you don't believe me, go watch the video that I did on the fact that wealth is not money. What is money? What is wealth? Wealth is the ability to create value for someone other than yourself. That's what wealth is. If you were stranded on a desert island with $15 billion in briefcases and nobody else is there, how much is it worth?
Nothing.
It might be worth, if it's dry, paper to use to start a fire. That's worthless. So money is a way to store value as long as you are in a community of people who value that store.
Yan sinasabi natin, na kailangan yung wealth mo umiikot, hindi lang sa'yo. Diba?
Oo, tama.
Kaya sabi niya, yung wealth mo, walang kwenta yan eh. Tipid ka ng tipid. Anong silbi ng pera mo? Titipirin mo. Lalo alam makapagastos.
Kung hindi mo kasi alam na ang pera ay tools o kagamitan, hindi ka mag-iisip ng paraan paano gamitin yun eh.
Ang alam mo sa pera, yaman.
Oo. Kaya tuloy ang nangyayari, pag inisip mo yaman yung pera, ang purpose lang ng pera, gastusin.
Oo.
Kasi yaman to eh, dapat to gastusin.
Iba nga, ikinikip pa eh. Yaman to eh. Tago natin to.
Yun ang mali.
Oo.
Money is a way to transfer value. It's a way. It's not the only way. It's a way to transfer value. But money itself is not value. Money itself is not wealth. Wealth is your ability to create something for someone other than yourself. That's one of the reasons why it's easier to earn a lot of money in a city than it is in a rural area. Because there are more people to serve. Yeah. Are y'all tracking? Is what I'm saying making sense? So we want to walk wisely according to our work. And how do I do that? I do that by two things. There are two things that would be very wise for me to do. Disconnect my revenue generation from time. Stop thinking in dollars per hour. Start thinking in dollars for value.
Oh.
What is value? What is value? Okay, so let's talk about what that is. So, because I said, I'll talk about that on a different video. It'll take too long. So, and I've talked about it on other videos anyway. So just go watch all of my videos and you'll have the answer. Okay. So now I'm going to disconnect my revenue generation from time. That's number one. And then number 2, I'm going to use my money to buy back my life. The most valuable thing I've ever bought in my life is not a house, it's not a car, it's not an article of clothing, it's not a vacation. The most valuable thing I've ever bought in my life is I've bought back the rest of my life. That's the most valuable thing I've ever bought. I would recommend you do the same thing. So now we're talking about walking wisely according to our work. We talked about walking wisely, the walking in wisdom period. Then we talk about walking applied wisdom to our work. And then we need to walk wisely according to the will of God. What does the will of God mean? I'm gonna define that for you as well. Okay. It said in verse number 17, "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit." So I'm not going to go into the details of being filled with the Spirit because I just did a video on that a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go into the detail about walking according to the wisdom of the will of God. So I believe that success can only be defined one way: discovering the purpose of your life, develop yourself for that purpose, and then deploy yourself in that purpose. If you do anything else, you wasted your life. I'm going to say it one more time. Success can only be defined as discovering the purpose for your life, developing yourself for that purpose, and then deploying yourself in that purpose. That is the purpose. To me, that's the definition of success. If you do something other than the thing you were created for, you're not successful. You might make a lot of money, you might be rich, but you're still not successful. If you didn't do, like, I could take my Mercedes out there, and I could open up the sunroof, and I could fill it up with dirt and park it in my front yard and plant some trees in it. And it would be an expensive flower pot, but it wouldn't be used for what it was created for, so I basically wasted the whole purchase of that car was wasted. And when you fill your life up with anything other than the purpose for which you were created, you are like a Mercedes flower pot in somebody's front yard. So, what is the will of God for my life? I'm going to tell you what your purpose is. And I'm going to say it in a sentence, and then you have to go discover how to fill in the details, right? I'm going to give you the numbers. You know how we used to paint by numbers? I'm going to give you the numbers, and you can go paint it later. You ready? Here it is. Your purpose, my purpose, is to live in your creative space and make the world a better place. How do I live in my creative space? I discover the things that I'm good at and the things that I love to do, and I do those things to serve people other than me. It's so simple. How could it be that simple? Now, here's what's fascinating. One of the reasons it's not good for man to be alone is because no human being, no man, no one woman has everything. No one man, no one woman is good at everything. What's amazing, what's mind-blowingly amazing is I am really good at the stuff that I'm good at. And the stuff I'm bad at, I'm worse at that than I am good at the things I'm good at. But there are so many things that I'm bad at that my wife is great at. And there are things that she's bad at that I'm great at. And if we were both great at the same things, one of us would be unnecessary. In fact, both of us would be unnecessary to each other. How are y'all tracking? And by the way, I know those differences, like sometimes they create friction. But beyond the friction, they create fulfillment. We can get past the friction. We can get to that place of fulfillment. Like, here's the reality. There are people that you in your life that you're going to love, but you ain't going to like them all the time. Can I get a witness? Right? And the reality is, a part of our maturity is developing our ability to work well with people, watch this now, who are different than we are. Because opposites attract until what? Until they attack. But then after that, what we have to do is we have to get back to the place where we give people room to be different than us and understand that doesn't make them wrong, it just makes them different.
Naalala ko tuloy yung pinag-usapan natin nung nakaraang linggo na yung gender inequality ba yun?
Oo.
Na ito yung sinasabi niya na tayo equal tayo bilang tao lahat. Wala namang gender na inequal eh. Pero lahat tayo magkakaiba. At yung sinasabing dahil magkaiba tayo, dahil iba yung mali ka, dahil iba sa akin, tama ako. Yun ang paniniwala na kapag yun ang pinaniwalaan mo, parang sinasabi mo sa Diyos na ba't ginawa niyang iba-iba ang tao.
Oo.
Diba? Kasi dun nga sa pagkakaiba natin, dun tayo nagkakaroon ng opportunity para tulungan yung isa't isa eh.
Oo.
At yung yun nga sinasabi ni Myron na pagsiserve sa ibang tao, dun ka lalago, dun ka kikita. Yun yung karunungan na dapat malaman natin na gusto ng Diyos na tayo mag-serve sa mga anak rin ng Diyos.
Yan pala yung sagot doon sa mga tao nagtatanong na bakit ako ganito, sila ganun.
Oo. Kasi kung gagawin yan lahat pantay-pantay o lahat walang pagkakaiba, parang ang boring ng buhay no?
Halimbawa, di ba? Example, dahil nga yung malimit naman kasi nagtatanong ng mga ganyang bagay, yung mga depressed.
Oo.
Ang dapat siguro nilang gawin dyan, alamin nila kung ano yung sagot dun sa problemang yun. Yung kapag nalaman na nila yun yung nila, i-share nila.
Oo, tama. Ganun mismo yung dapat nilang gawin.
Kasi, dapat pasalamatan nila na nakakaramdam sila ng ganun. Kasi, magkakaroon sila ng oportunidad.
Para itulong yun sa iba.
Yun.
Ngayon, tulong na yun, hindi mo alam, baka milyon ang halaga nun o bilyon ang halaga nun. Hindi mo alam.
May value yun eh.
Oo, yun yung sinasabi niyang value.
Yun.
Yun yung sinasabing value na ipagpapalit mo sa pera o kaya sa oras. Na kapag na-discover mo yun sa sarili mo o nasolusyonan mo yung problema na yun, pwede mo yung ibenta.
Yun.
Pwede mo yung i-service sa mga tao na may encounter mo.
Kung kaya mo ibenta ilibigay mo muna ng libre. Di ba? Kalaunan kapag maraming nakakilala na sa'yo na binibigay mo yung serbisyo mo ng libre. So, maraming mga milyonaryong nababasa ko na nagsimula naman talaga sila sa libre.
Oo.
Ngayon, nung makilala na sila, iniimbita na sila.
Tama.
At doon na sila binabayaran.
Kailangan lang maging aware ka na yung nararanasan mo ngayon, may value yan.
Yun, may value yan.
Kasi kung hindi mo yan i-value yung nararanasan mo ngayon, parang magiging basura yun sa tingin mo.
Sa tingin mo, problema,
Hindi nga kikita dyan.
Oo,
hindi ka lalago. No?
Galing. Uwi pa rin talaga tayo sa It's all about kung paano yung pagtingin mo sa buhay.
Oo. Palagi yan doon babalik.
Perception. Diba?
Oo.
May naalala nga ako yung napanood ko na maiksi lang yun pero ang ganda ng ng message. Yung sabi nung una, sabi niya, malungkot niyang sinabi na Sabi niya, walang may paki. Sabi niya, no one cares, sabi niya.
Oo.
Sabay yung isa naman, maganda yung tingin niya sa buhay. Nakangiti, sinabi niya, yun na nga exactly. No one cares.
Oo.
Iba ang dating Ibig sabihin nun, kasi maraming tao natatakot na gawin yung isang bagay kasi iniisip nila yung
iniisip ng ibang tao.
Wala namang may pakialam.
Oo. Diba? Baka mamaya kung ano isipin nila sa akin pag ginawa nila to. Di ba?
Oo.
Kumbaga, yung sitwasyon na yun, sa magkaibang tao, pwede magkaibang klase yun. Na, okay lang naman kasi wala naman silang pakialam, gagawin ko to.
Oo.
Isa naman, ayokong gawin to kasi baka kung ano isipin nila. Di ba?
Galing nga. Tuloy natin to.
I will say this about what I believe this about the will of God. I don't believe specifically you will discover the will of God for your life until you yield to it before you know what it is. What does that mean? You have to be willing to do what God has created you for even before you discover it. Now, here's what's fascinating. In Romans chapter 12, it says this.
Kaya maniwala ka din muna
I
talaga
beseech you, therefore, brethren. Beseech means beg. I beg you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. It's reasonable for us who've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. It's reasonable for us to yield our bodies as a living sacrifice. Like in the Old Testament, they had burnt offerings that they would kill these animals and they would cut them in pieces and they would put them on an altar and they would burn the whole thing. It's an illustration. God, you can have all of this. Well, our lives are supposed to be living burnt offerings. We're supposed to burn all of the energy of our lives as an offering to God. Anyway, then it says, and be not conformed to this world. The word conformed means to be made like something with pressure from the outside. It's like a cookie cutter. Like we all used cookie cutters before, right? Sometimes when I was a little kid, my mom, we'd make cookies. We wouldn't even use a cookie cutter. We just use a glass, right? And you cut the cookies with a glass. Or you cut biscuits with a glass, right? Y'all remember that? Or with a jar, right? Okay. So, so that word, be not conformed, don't be made like the world with pressure from the outside. But be transformed. What's transformed? It's metamorphosized. It's like a caterpillar goes into a cocoon.
Nalala ko yung palabas ni Jet. Ang sabi nito, Bruce Lee. Na be water. Yan siguro yun. Pinapaliwanag niya.
And from the inside out becomes a butterfly. So the Bible says, don't be made like the world with pressure from the outside, but be transformed, metamorphosized by the renewing of your mind from the inside. Now, the word renew is not just renew. The word renew literally means renovation. And when you renovate something, you tear out all the old stuff, and then you put in new stuff. Renovation is not covering up the old stuff with new stuff. Renovation is tearing out the old stuff and putting in the new stuff. And I submit to you that I believe the biggest problem modern-day churchianity has is that we don't renew our minds. What do I mean? We don't tear out all of our old baggage, all of our old habits. When we just...
Yan ang ng mga simbahan ngayon. Masyado sila nakapokus sa kaluluwa.
Naalala ko tuloy yung sabi ng Panginoon sa Biblia na hindi mo pwedeng tapalan ng bagong damit yung lumang damit. Yun, pagka ganun ang ginawa mo, lalong pupunitin ng bago yung luma. Kasi hindi ka pwedeng itapal mo lang naman yung bago na meron ka pa rin datihan eh.
Yun. May dumi ka pa din. Masakwan.
Lalo ka masisira eh. Dapat kapag ka nagkaroon ka ng isang kaisipan na duda yun eh, nagkakaroon ng duda yung isip mo, hindi buo. Yung isa bago, yung isa luma. Nagkakaroon ng kontrahan yun. Nagkakahilahan yun kapag ka tinatagpi mo. Hindi mo siya pwedeng itagpi na meron kang dati tapos itatagpi mo yung bago. Lalo kang masisira eh. Kaya yung sinasabi dito ni Myron na kung gusto mong malaman yung purpose mo, yung kung ano silbi mo talaga, huwag kang magkonforme sa labas. Kung ano yung sinabi sa'yo ng tao, ganito ka, kasi ikaw ganyan ka. Ngayon ikaw naman, dahil conforme ka sa mga sinasabi ng tao, pinaniniwalaan mo sila na, ay, ganito nga ako. Siguro nga, hindi nga ako marunong. Bobo nga talaga ako.
Oo.
Diba? Ang talagang pagbabago natin, hindi yung ibang tao magbabago sa'yo. Sa loob yan nagsisimula, yung pagbabago. Kapag sa loob nang galing yung pagbabago, buo yun eh. Walang labis, walang kulang yun. Buo. Holy nga ang tawag dun eh. Banal. Kapag sa loob nagmula yung pagbabago, dahil naunawaan mo talaga yung salita ng Diyos, dun magkakaroon ng epekto yun papalabas. Magtataka yung mga tao, ba't ganito na to ngayon? Na parang makakarinig ka sa kanila na ba't hindi na to sumasama sa atin? Bakit? Dati nakikisama pa to mag-inuman.
Oo.
Dati ganito pa mga sinasabi yan, ba't ngayon iba na?
Yan nga ang problema dito sa sa sanlibutan. Na kapag nagbago ka, sasabihin nagbago ka na. Bakit kailangan laging bakit kailangan nagiging masama kapag nagbago yung tao? Bakit kailangan masama ang
ganun talaga kasi nasa ibang side ka na eh. Nasa ibang level ka na ng vibration eh.
Oo.
Kapag umiba ka na ng level, yung mga dating level mo, syempre, kakontra na yun. Diba? Kaya nga, hindi mo masisisi ibang tao na siraan ka o kaya naman magalit sa'yo kasi hindi na yun yung ikaw eh. Kaya iniwan mo na yung dati mong pagkatao eh.
Kaya pag sinabihan ka na, nagbago ka na, sabihin mo na lang, oo nga, nagbago na talaga ako.
Oo. Okay, tanong mo, talaga ba nagbago ako? Sabihin, oo, ay, salamat. Dahil sila mismo nagpapatotoo. Diba? Sila mismo nagbabalidate na nagbago ka nga. Diba? Oo. Di, maganda yun.
Maganda
bilang
yun.
senyales na
effective yung ginagawa mo.
Effective.
discover a principle in the Word of God, we don't say, okay, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to stop doing, I'm going to tear that way out that I used to do, tear it out, throw it away, and I'm going to build my life on this new strategy, on this new truth, on this new, it's an old truth, but it's new to me. He says, be not conformed to this world. Don't be made like the world with pressure from the outside. Be transformed. How? By renovating your mind. And then it says that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. That's not three different wills. God doesn't have a good will. He doesn't have a perfect will. If you miss that, you get his good will. If you miss that, you get his... No. God's good and perfect, acceptable and perfect will of God are the same thing. And I want you to notice the order in which they're stated. That you may prove what is that good, and then acceptable, and then perfect. So it's good first, it's acceptable second, it's perfect last. Why is that? Well, good is what God knows His will is for your life and my life. God knows it's good. Acceptable is what God desires it for it to be for us. He desires for us to accept it as good. When we accept God's good will as good, instead of thinking it's bad, like Joseph did, when he said to his brothers, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Oh, y'all tracking now, right? Okay, so when we do that, when we accept God's will as good, even when it doesn't feel good,
Yun.
when we accept it as good, even when it doesn't sound good, when we accept it as good, even when it doesn't taste good.
Yan na nga yun, di ba? Diyan ka susubukin eh. Kasi yun nga yung, parang ipaparamdam sa'yo na hindi maganda yun.
Oo.
Hindi masarap. Di ba? Sasabihin ng mga kaibigan mo, nagbago ka na talaga. Doon ka unang susubukin ng Diyos.
Tama.
Kaya sinasabi ni Myron na, yung pagbabago, yan eh. Hindi talaga maganda sa pakiramdam yan eh. Yeah. Ibig sabihin, pag nararamdaman mo na gano'n, ibig sabihin, gumagana na. Unti-unti na.
Oo. Kaya naalala ko palagi yung sabi niya ama kapag nagkakasakit eh. Sabi niya, nagkakasakit kayo dahil binabago kayo.
Yun.
Kasi nga pag nagbabago ka, pakiramdam mo, hindi ka komportable. Kasi hindi na yung dati mo eh. Ano ka na, kumbaga parang balisan na yung katawan mo. Kapag balisan na yung katawan mo, ibig sabihin nun, bago na yun eh. Hindi na sanay yung dati mo na ganong pakiramdam. Kaya nagkakaroon ng parang, totoo, hindi naman sakit yun eh.
Oo. Hindi lang komportable yung katawan mo.
Hindi ka lang komportable kasi bagong pakiramdam na naman yung nararamdaman mo.
Iba na kasi yung ginagawa mo.
Tama.
Yung ginagawa mo dati.
Kaya pag may naririnig tayo mga motivational speaker na, ito kahit ayokong gawin to, ginagawa ko eh. Di ba?
Oo.
Para magawa mo yung isang bagay o kaya naman para ma-achieve mo yung isang bagay na gusto mo, hindi mo gagawin yung kung ano yung komportable sa'yo eh.
Dahil masarap.
Oo. Gagawin mo yung mahirap.
Yun.
Kasi yun ang nararapat. Yung mahirap na yun, sa umpisa lang naman yun eh. Habang ginagawa mo ng paulit-ulit yun, yun na nga, mamamaster mo ulit, magiging marunong ka na ron.
Tama.
Naalala ko yung sabi ni Dan ko na coach niya na tayong mga tao, hindi tayo nawawala ng problema. Gumagaling lang tayong mag-solve ng problema. Kaya yung problema na yun na nasolve mo na, hindi na problema sa'yo yun.
Oo.
Normal na lang yun.
At ang kagandahan nun, kapag meron ka ng skills nito ni Myron, kapag nasolve mo na yun, yun yung pwede mong ibenta.
Tama. Kung may awareness kang ganun.
Yun. Kung may awareness kang ganun.
Diba?
Kaya magandang manood kayo ng mga ganitong video.
Oo, tama.
Then, and only then, is God's will perfect or complete. Because He knows it's good. We accept it as good, and now it's perfect. It's complete.
Galing.
How do we do that? That's called walking in the wisdom of the will of God. When we will do that, when we will apply God's wisdom to our walk, and we apply God's wisdom to our work, and we apply God's wisdom to yielding to His will, we will live a wise and productive life instead of foolish and destructive life. Trust that this blesses you. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share it, comment, and all the other YouTube-y stuff that people do on YouTube. And in the meantime, in between time, I'll see you next time. Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Exam topics.
Oh.
Grabe. Isang
Ganda.
magandang
Summary.
discussion na naman ngayong araw.
Key of the day. Prerequisite.
Oo.
Ano ba sa Tagalog yun?
Parang sinabi niya kanina, pre-requirement.
Yun.
Na bago ka dumating sa punto na yun, may mga pagdadaanan ka.
Oo. Una,
Ignorant. Oo. Kailangan maging ignorante tayo. Kung gusto mong maging magaling, kailangan maging ignorante ka.
Huwag kang yung
Huwag kayong, alam ko na yan. Ang dami ko naririnig sa mga ganyan eh.
Alam ko na yan.
Kaya pala, no, hindi ka aabante kapag ganun yung mindset mo eh.
Oo.
Na pag meron kang isang bagay na napakiramdam mo, na alam mo na yon, ganun kagad ang magiging mechanism mo na alam ko na yan. Diba?
Close-minded. Ano?
Oo. Pangalawa, siyempre, pagka
na-acquire mo na yung pagiging ignorante, nagkaroon ka ng karunungan.
kailangan mo namang matuto, malaman.
Yun. Knowledge.
Oo, knowledge. At hindi lang basta dapat meron kang knowledge. Dapat yung knowledge na yun, naiintindihan mo.
Yun. Totoo yun.
Kasi
para
kung
example nun, di ba? Ignorante, paano hindi mo alam magpreno. Ngayon, pag natuto ka na magpreno, nagkaroon ka ng karunungan, tatapa kami yung pedal, yun yung karunungan.
Oo.
Ngayon, yung pagkaunawa naman doon, naiintindihan mo na kung paano.
Hindi karunungan, kaalaman. Alam mo.
Kaalaman.
Oo.
Yung preno. Yung pagkaunawa naman nun, yung kahalaga, kailangan alam mo kung ano yung para sa yung preno.
Kasi, syempre, dapat naiintindihan mo kung pagka hindi ako nagpreno sa ganitong kabilis, ano mangyayari sa akin.
Yun. Oo.
Diba?
Kaya kailangan naintindihan
mo
talaga.
O kaya, halimbawa, magpreno ka na nakasingle ka, magpipreno ka sa harap, ano mangyayari sa'yo? Na matulin ka.
Yun yung yun yung level na, na karunungan.
Para magkaroon ka ng, doon malaman na marunong ka.
Pa yung 4.
Siyempre, marunong ka na, at binabaliwala mo yung karunungan mo.
Hindi. Pagkaunawa. Tama. Tapos pagkaunawa yung karunungan.
Oo. Kailangan mo ng 3 para magkaroon ng karunungan.
Ngayon, yung 5, yun na yung
pagka inabandon mo yung karunungan.
Oo. Pag binabaliwala mo na yung mga natutunan mo.
Oo.
Diba? Yun na yung foolishness. Yan yung foolishness. Yan yung hindi naman siya tanga, hindi bobo. Alam niya.
Alam niya
lahat.
Tao nga doon kamangmangan eh.
Yun.
Sa Tagalog.
Ibig sabihin, ang mangmang hindi siya...
Sinasadya niyang hindi talaga gawin.
Yun.
Mas masama yun kaysa sa mga ignorante.
Oo, mas masama yun
intentional ka na kasi na anuhin mo eh. Ignorantehin mo.
Baliwalain mo na.
Intentional ka na. At pagka intentional ka at sinasadya mo, yun nga yung sabi sa Biblia na
pag sinasadya mo na yung
wala yung
pagkakasala.
kapatawaran.
Yun.
Mabigat yun.
Oo.
So, ayun na lang muna mga brothers.
Yan, maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin.
Sana may apply natin lahat to, no? Yung mga natutunan natin. Sa unang-una sa mga YouTuber, i-apply nyo to sa YouTube nyo.
Oo.
Kung YouTuber ka, nanonood ka, i-apply mo to.
Bawa,
kasi gawin mong negosyo yung YouTube. Oo.
Kailangan maging ignorante kayo. Kailangan alamin nyo lahat. Paano nga ba dumami subscriber? Type nyo dyan. Di ba? Kasi lalabas naman yung mga video dyan eh. Pag nalaman nyo na paano dumami subscriber, magkakaroon na kayo ng karunungan. Hindi. Hindi pa karunungan. Kaalaman. Di ba? Ngayon, para ma-acquire nyo yung para naman, ang kaalaman, yun eh, di ba? Hindi pa application yun.
Hindi pa.
Accumulation pa lang. Nakakakalap pa lang kayo.
Nangangalap ka ng kaalaman.
Yun.
Hindi kaalaman. Truth. Tawag nyo nga truth eh.
Katotohanan, Kaya yung totoo lang, kasi hindi pwedeng idea lang eh. Kailangan yung totoo yung kukunin nyo talaga eh, yung tama. Hindi yung mga hearsay, yung mga ganun.
Tapos kapag marami ka ng impormasyon na laman, alamin mo naman kung bakit.
Paano, bakit, saan, yung mga ganung ba?
Kailangan unawain mo yung mga impormasyon na
unawain mo yun.
Nalalaman mo.
Bakit kailangan hindi ganito, bakit kailangan ganun. At pag nalaman mo na yun, kailangan i-practice mo na yun para magkaroon ka ng wisdom.
I-apply mo.
I-apply mo na.
Paulit-ulit yun. Kaya tingnan mo kami, every week, talagang hanggat maaari, meron kaming may upload.
Oo, hanggat maaari. Hindi lang kami nakapag-podcast last week kasi may nilakad ako nun. Hanggang dito na lang mga brothers. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Baka may gusto kang shoutout?
Sino ba yung shoutout natin?
Ayan, shoutout natin ulit. Yung paborito natin, si Gon Magno. Ayan, shoutout sa'yo, Gon.
Gon.
Namimiss ka na namin. Hanggang dito na lang mga brothers. Maraming salamat. Adios.